Hi, I'm Mina. This is a quiet corner for books, reflections, and everyday life. Here, we'll slow down together and find a little meaning in the simple things. Have you ever tried to lose weight so many times that it started to feel like pressure instead of progress? Maybe you've counted calories. Maybe you've cut carbs. Maybe you've told yourself to be strict, to be disciplined, to just try harder. And maybe for a while, that worked. But then life happened. You got busy, you got tired, you got stressed, and somehow the weight came back. That is why this book matters. It is not really about pressure. It is not about punishing yourself into being thin. It is about waking up your weight loss brain, building a mindset that helps you make better choices naturally, and then making those changes last. What I like about this book is that it gives you a very clear structure. First, it gives you 7 rules that help build the right mindset. Then, it gives you 3 long-term principles that help you keep that change going. And for me, that makes a lot of sense. Because lasting weight loss is never just about food. It is about how you think, how you live, and how you respond to setbacks. The 7 rules. The first part of the book is built around 7 rules. These are the foundation. They are the rules that help you wake up your weight loss brain and stop living on autopilot. The first rule is about having a goal. This is important because weight loss should never feel random. You should know why you want to change. Maybe you want to feel healthier. Maybe you want more energy. Maybe I want to fit into old jeans again. Maybe you want to feel more confident in your own skin. Whatever the reason is, it has to be personal and clear. Because when you have a real goal, you are not just suffering for no reason. You are moving towards something that matters to you. The second rule is about creating a clear image of yourself. You need to know what kind of person you are becoming. Not just someone who wants to lose weight, but someone who lives differently. Someone who makes healthier choices naturally. Someone who pays attention to their habits. Someone who takes care of their body with more awareness. The third rule is about understanding why you eat. This is a huge one. A lot of eating has nothing to do with hunger. Sometimes we eat because we are stressed. Sometimes because we are bored. Sometimes because food is just part of the habit. If you do not understand the dollars, our reason behind your eating, you will keep repeating the same pattern. The fourth rule is about not depending on extreme restriction. This is where many people fail. They try to cut everything out. No carbs, no sweets, no alcohol, no joy. And for a short time, that may feel powerful, but it usually does not last. A better approach is to build awareness instead of fear. You do not need to treat food like the enemy. You need to learn how to live with it in a healthier way. The fifth rule is about eating more slowly and more mindfully. This sounds simple, but it matters a lot. When you eat too fast, your brain does not have enough time to catch up with your stomach. The author talks about eating with your eyes first. That means when the food is placed in front of you, you do not rush straight into it. You pause for a moment. You look at the food. You appreciate it. You think about where it came from and how it was made. That small pause can help you slow down before you even take the first bite. The idea is simple, but powerful. When you stop and really see your food, you are less likely to eat mindlessly. Also, taste your food mindfully. You do not just swallow it quickly and move on. You notice the flavor. You notice the texture. You notice how the food changes as you chew it. This is important because the goal is not to eat until you are stuffed. The goal is to feel satisfied. That difference matters a lot. Your brain needs to learn how to recognize satisfaction, not just fullness, because being full and being satisfied are not always the same thing. You may keep eating even when you are already full. Slowing down gives you a chance to notice what your body is actually telling you. The sixth rule is about not blaming yourself. If you have a day where you break your plan, that does not mean you have failed. You do not need to punish yourself. You do not need to restart everything from zero. You just tell yourself, tomorrow I'll do better. That idea is so important because weight loss cannot be built on guilt. If one bad day turns into shame, then shame turns into quitting. But if you treat a setback as part of the process, then you can keep going. And this also connects to another important idea in the book. You do not need to be perfect. You do not have to reject the foods you love completely. You do not have to live like every enjoyable food is forbidden. That kind of thinking is too extreme to last. The real goal is to learn how to enjoy food with balance, not to erase everything you like. The seventh rule is about repetition and consistency. This is how real change happens. Not in one dramatic week, not in one perfect month, but through repetition. By practicing the same good habits again and again until they become part of your life. So when I think about the 7 rules, I do not see them as 7 strict commands. I see them as 7 ways of training your mind to think differently about weight loss. The 3 long-term principles are the part of the book that help you make change last. They remind you that weight loss is not about a quick fix. It is about building a way of living that you can actually keep. The first principle is don't treat weight loss like a short sprint. A lot of people set goals like, I need to lose 10 pounds in 1 month, but that usually leads to pressure, frustration, and burnout. A better approach is to focus on small weekly habits you can repeat. For example, you might decide to walk fast for 30 minutes a day, eat a lighter dinner on weekdays, or slow down and finish each meal more mindfully. That way, you are not chasing a dramatic result, you are building a routine that can actually survive real life. The second principle is change your environment and habits so healthy choices become easier. Willpower is not enough if your surroundings keep working against you. For example, if snacks are always sitting in front of you at home, you are more likely to eat them without thinking. But if you keep healthier food ready, drink water before snacking, or prepare your meals in advance, you make the better choice much easier. You can also build small routines around trigger moments, like taking a short walk after work before dinner, instead of going straight to the fridge. The third principle is build a rhythm you can keep for years, not just for a few weeks. This means choosing habits that are realistic and flexible. For example, if you are doing 16-8 fasting, you do not need to be perfect every single day. You just need a pattern that works most of the time. If you usually walk for 1 hour in the morning, but one day is too busy, you can split it into 2 shorter walks. The point is not to follow a perfect plan. The point is to create a lifestyle that still works when you are tired, busy, or imperfect. That is why these 3 principles matter so much. They turn weight loss from a temporary effort into a sustainable way of living. For me, this book connects very closely to my own experience. I used to be really overweight at one point. I was around 170 pounds. When I was about 20, I worked hard at swimming because I had a goal. I wanted to look better before university. I wanted to date. I wanted to feel more confident. And in the end, I managed to lose the weight and got down to around 120 pounds. But after that, the weight slowly came back over the years, and I reached around 150 pounds again. I tried different methods. I tried cutting carbs completely. I tried not drinking alcohol. I tried being strict. But it never really felt sustainable. That was the problem. I was trying to use pressure instead of building a system. I was focusing on forcing results instead of creating a mindset and a rhythm I could actually keep. This year, I decided to change that approach. I gave myself a new goal, and this time the goal was not just to be thinner. I wanted to be healthier because I still have so many things I want to do in life. I want to play piano. I want to travel. I want to record podcasts. And yes, I also wanted to fit back into the jeans I wore when I was 20. That goal gave me direction. I started doing 16-8 fasting. I began walking fast for 1 hour every morning. Then I slowly built it up until I was also walking for 1 hour in the evening. I did not try to change everything at once. I just wanted to create habits I could actually maintain. And I stopped treating carbs like the enemy. I learned to enjoy meals with carbs and meals without carbs. I learned to eat more slowly. I learned not to panic if I had wine or if one meal was heavier than usual. That kind of flexibility made the whole process much more livable. After 3 months, I could fit back into those jeans. But more importantly, I no longer felt like I was fighting myself every day. That to me is the real success. What makes this book so useful is that it does not encourage pressure. It encourages awareness. It does not ask you to hate your body and to change. It asks you to build a brain that supports change. That is a much healthier approach. Because when you have a clear goal, the 7 rules help you build the mindset. And when you have the right mindset, the 3 long-term principles help you keep going. That combination is powerful. It means you are not just trying to lose weight, you are learning how to live differently. You are learning how to respond to food, habits, and setbacks in a calmer way. And over time, that becomes a new identity. So if I had to sum up this book in one sentence, I would say this. This is not a book about pressure. It is a book about building a weight loss mindset through 7 rules and making it last through 3 long-term principles. That message really stayed with me because I have lived both sides of the experience. I have lived the side of pressure, restriction, and frustration, and I have lived the side of clarity, rhythm, and sustainable progress. And if there is one thing I would take away from this book, it is this. You do not need to punish yourself to change. You need a goal, a mindset, and a system you can keep. That is how real change happens. Thanks for spending this time with me. Let's keep reading, keep reflecting, and keep finding a little more calm in everyday life.